All right, man. Welcome to another episode of the Phin Outta Football Podcast. I am your host with the most, B Herbo. I got my brother from another mother, Rob, man, in the building, and we are back to recap Week 6 of the NFL 2024 season. Rod, we are already one quarter out. Like there's 3 quarters to a football season. Quarter one is done. We're
Done.
we're knee deep in quarter two. I feel like the season just came back, bro. This is like, god damn, this shit goes by
You,
so
you,
fast.
you know what, Herbie? That's the thing about football, bro. Like, football comes and it goes so quick. Like, all these other sports, like basketball, 80 games, hockey, 80 games, baseball, 100 and, I think they reduced the games, but it's over 100 games. Like, football, you get your now 17 and it's some playoffs and it's over like that. A fart in the wind.
Nah, like it's annoying, but the thing about football is you need the time to actually go by to actually process who's a good team or not, who's the bad teams, like who actually legitimately sucks. What are those early flukes that prove themselves to be flukes? Saints, Cowboys. So yeah, bro. So, but with that though, man, for today's episode, we're gonna go ahead and recap a couple of the games that we figured that were kind of interesting to us. We're going to talk about the Jaguars and Bears. We're going to talk about the Lions and Cowboys. We're going to talk about the Commanders and the Ravens. But before we get to that, we got to do a little bit of house cleaning, man. So we are in the midst of a Monday Night Football game. Again, we do normally do this on Sundays, but we're here on a Monday. So we're in the midst of the Monday Night Football game between the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. That is a division rival that is unique to you, Rod. So I know you wanted to talk about it. Now, the game has already started, but how do you feel about the game and what do you think? What is the importance of this game in regards to you as a Dolphin fan and to the Dolphins as a whole?
Well, Herbie, it's funny because I'm kind of in between a rock and a hard place. Because on one hand, well, first of all, if I had things my way, I would hope both of these niggas lose, right? Like, if you could just, not even a tie, like if they could just both take an L and it could mathematically work with how the NFL works, I'd be happy. But obviously, that's not the case. But what I can say is, Herbie, when I look at this game, I don't even look at it as much from a football perspective as I do from a drama perspective. Because at the end of the day, the loser of this game is gonna take heat that they're not ready for. And I'm actually kind of leaning towards the Jets losing, Herbie. Because if there's one thing I love more than anything in the world, more than coochie, more than my favorite foods, is watching the Jets be a dumpster fire. From a football perspective, I actually think that makes me happier. And I'm sorry, yes, as a Dolphin fan, misery loves company. And the Jets have always been great company for us, Herbie. So I'm kind of hoping that things implode for the Jets because they haven't looked good. They're going up against a defense that can make them look bad. Now, to their credit, the Jets defense, which started off slow, they've been picking up in some of these games. Now, they've played some bad quarterbacks and shit. But at the end of the day, I expect this game, and it's already started. We haven't been watching it or anything. But I'm assuming this is going to be a little bit of a defensive game. I think it's going to be a fight because the Jets always give Buffalo a challenge. I mean, last season, Josh had a game where he threw like 3 picks against them. So this is going to be a tough matchup for both teams. But if I had to lean towards who I want to see suffer the most, it's got to be the Jets, Herbie. Like, for me, it's 100% them.
Yeah, you know me. So the funny thing about doing this podcast, right? And we'll get to this. Like I'll go in depth in regards to when we break down the lines of the Cowboys. Spoiler alert. But the funny thing about doing this podcast is that I don't got no skin in the game. I'm not a Dolphins fan, bro. Ironically, people are going to be like, "You're not a Dolphin fan?" No, I'm not. I'll explain later. Trust me. So it is always funny because it's like I find myself paying attention to a division that I don't give a fuck about because of the podcast. I find myself listening to Dolphins radio. I find myself listening to Jets radio. I find myself listening to Bills. I was about to lie. I'm never gonna listen to Bills radio. Let's be for real here. Let's be fucking for real. Like,
Oh, shit.
Hey, let's be honest here, bro. I'm never doing that. But it's funny that I'm actually like you really paying attention to the AFC East, dog. Right. I think I'm becoming an AFC East fan, bro. And I don't know how to feel about that, dog. I'm an NFC nigga to the day I die, bro. So this is kind of weird for me, dog.
Bro, just let that be your AFC division, bro. That's it. Just let it be your AFC division, man.
Hey, listen, all that, you can only have one team. Nah, fuck that. You know what that got me? Rooting for these bum ass Cowboys, dog. Fuck that, nigga. I need a second team, bro. For real.
Especially after that performance last night. Woo.
God.
An atrocity, dog.
Oh my God. All right, so we'll get to that, bro. So quick prediction while the game is going on, and we're gonna go ahead and move on.
If I had to predict the game, I predict a little bit of an ugly game, but they'll probably get a few touchdowns between the two offenses. So I'll give it to the Bills 24-20.
All right, man. Okay, so this is a Dolphins podcast, and we do have a focus on the Dolphins. And again, if this is your first time watching the show, if this is your first time being on the podcast, we have a bunch of new followers, and it's always weird because me and you've been doing this so long that I always have to reintroduce ourselves. But that's come with the territory when you grow, and we are a small channel, but we're trying to grow. We're trying to get to that next step. We're trying to be with the Uncle Shays and the Chad Ochosenkos and the Cam
Big
and
facts.
stuff like that.
Big facts.
So if this is your first time, first thing that you got to do, please like, comment, subscribe. You feel me? Off the bat. And two, just understand that this is a Dolphins football podcast, but it's also an NFL podcast. So the focus of the Dolphins, we're always going to be geared and keen towards the Dolphins. And that's where the conversation is always going to start. But that's not where it's going to end. So if you're not here for the Dolphin talk, trust me, we're going to make sure that you have something to be engaged with, something that you can enjoy as well. Listen, man, this is a football podcast for football fans. You feel me? You want PFF? By fans. You want some analysis and EPA and Jim? You can find that shit. This is Barbershop Talk on YouTube. That's what we're here to provide, man. So I say that to say this. We do have to have the conversation about the Dolphins. The Dolphins are on a bye week. So when you are on a bye week, two things can happen if you're a fan.
Hey, Herbie, let me tell you, this is usually my favorite week of the year, is the bye week.
Why is that?
Because there's no stress watching football unless I bet on the games. I'm not stressed out watching the Dolphins be disappointing. You know, me being positive and watching them let me down game after game. Like, that's the one week where it's just like, oh, I'm off. Like, we're off this Sunday. Like, I can enjoy the other games. I can see other fans in peril, not me.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and it's so funny that you use that word because that is pretty much the point that I was going to make and I was alluding to. When you're on a bye week, depending how your season is going up until that point when the bye, which is why I like when my bye week is to be like in the middle later, because I know exactly what we're doing at that point. If I have a late bye, my team is doing good, I understand how we're using that bye week to assess, recharge, and get ready for the second half and get ready for the playoffs. If you have a late bye week, your team is bad, you're like, all right, man, when these niggas come back, they already in Cancun, bro. They got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, dog. So let's just put an end to this.
Let's get it over with.
On other things, right? When you have a early bye week, though, that is where there's a lot of anxiety because you don't know where your team is going to go when you come back. If you haven't identified if you have a good team or not. This Dolphins team, we have not identified if it's a good team or not. We can argue that it's mediocre. And when you're mediocre,
easily
you can either get right or you can get left. So
right.
there's no other way to slice that pie. So because you guys are on bye week, this gives us an opportunity to talk about the Dolphins as a whole. But because you guys are on bye week, it gives us the opportunity to dwell in our own thoughts and, you feel me, get paralysis by analysis. And I love that you use that word peril because there's a lot of Dolphin fans in peril right now. And I'm seeing chatter, not necessarily all from Dolphins fans, like real people who really understand or were really in it, but from people and fans around the league who may not understand or don't get the full picture of what really went down during his time when he was here, the previous coach of the Miami Dolphins. And that man's name is Brian Flores. And I'm seeing some Dolphins fans saying they should have never let him go. I'm seeing a lot of NFL fans saying, why did they let him go? You feel me? He's a great coach.
Herbie, you know what it is?
Go ahead.
Herbie, let me tell you the biggest problem we have in today's society: recency bias. Like, it wasn't too long ago that people were calling for Flores' head because of an interview that Tua had. Now, listen, me as a Dolphin fan, Herbie, I never questioned Brian Flores' ability to coach defense. If you look at the defensive rankings when he was here, I exclude the first season because he went to a team that had absolutely no talent. The fact that that team had 5 wins was a miracle work, which goes to show you his acumen as a coach. You look at his second year with the team, the year we drafted Tua, we started Fitzpatrick, and then you add Tua to the mid-season young quarterback coming off injury. Like we usually say, he came into the league a fucking lemon, and they throw him in there. We had the 6th-ranked defense in points. You know what I'm saying? And even in his last season, even though we had kind of a mid kind of year because Tua got hurt, the defense still finished, 16th in the league in points allowed. So when it came to his side of the ball, Herbie, he has never, defense was never the problem, Herbie. But let me ask you a question, Herbie. Does anybody know who George Godsey is, Herbie? Does anybody know who Eric Stootsville is, Herbie? Those were the two offensive coordinators we had in Miami to his second year, right? You go to the previous year, he had Chan Gailey. The year before that, we had another offensive coordinator. So the problem that Brian Flores had wasn't that he wasn't good at his specialty. He wasn't Brandon Staley. The problem that Brian Flores had was he had bad relationships with people in the building. He had a bad relationship with the GM. He had a bad relationship with the quarterback. He had a bad relationship with everyone he's really supposed to have a good relationship with. It was never about his coaching acumen. It was about the fact that he couldn't put together an offensive staff. And at the same time, he was clashing and being at odds with other key figures in the organization. So for all the people who are out there saying, oh, we should have had Flores, too bad. When he was here, now listen, Herbie, the beauty about life, and we all go through this as all human beings, the beauty of life is the fact that we all make mistakes and we all have a chance to learn and grow from them. No matter what stage, whether you're 5 years old or 50, you will always have an opportunity to be in a situation and learn. And what happened to him here in Miami, I would like to think it humbled him. I would like to think that Brian Flores, when he left here, thought to himself, damn, I kind of want to be better about how I go about shit. Like, you know what? I might not like the GM, but let me start playing chess and not checkers, right? Like, you could, listen, Herbert, you could work with someone you don't like, but it's always bad for business when you show other people that you don't like them. Like, you keep that within the business. You don't let the whole world know what's going on. You know what I mean? That's what people do. So at the end of the day, hopefully he's a lot smarter about how he moves moving forward as a coach. But I don't miss the guy, Herbie, because when he was here, he raised hell. If it was for him, like let's just say for the sake of argument, the Dolphins don't end up getting him, right? I mean, don't end up firing him. At the end of the day, he would have got Deshaun Watson. Tyreek Hill is here because Mike McDaniel came here. That wasn't a move that Flores was going to make. That's a move that Mike McDaniel made when he got here, because he understood he understood because I've mentioned this on the podcast before. When Brian Flores came here to repair Tua's mental after the trauma he faced from being in this organization, he put together a 600, 700 play tape between college and the pros of shit that Tua did well. And he made sure he went out and got weapons to make him better. So on top of the fact that Brian Flores could not put together an offensive staff, he also stunted the development of the quarterback that's supposed to bring you success, all because he was upset with the GM for not getting the guy that he wanted. And listen, at the end of the day, I know people feel like Justin Herbert is better than Tua. Everybody has their opinion on that. Some people think Tua is better. Listen, listen, to me, Justin Herbert mid as hell. I'm going to just be honest with you. In terms of physical traits and talent, yeah, he has that over Tua. In terms of playing quarterback, I don't think he's better. That's just my opinion, just from watching the two of them and watching film. So at the end of the day, he didn't get his guy, Herbie. But just because you get your guy doesn't make you got to be a sourpuss. Just because you don't get your guy doesn't mean you got to basically sabotage one side of the ball when you're supposed to. A team is supposed to work in unison. That's one thing I love about Mike McDaniel. There wasn't no offense and defense at odds. Like, that's the problem with these Belichick guys, Herbie. They leave New England and they think that they're Bill Belichick or they have the cachet of Belichick with Brady. You don't. And when you try to swing your dick around like you're a 6-time Super Bowl winning coach, at some point people see through all the BS because you didn't earn all that credibility. You might have been in the environment. There are obviously things that you learned from it. But Herbie, ultimately, like the way I look at Brian Flores, any Dolphin fan that wants him back, listen, more proud to you. We'd have to get rid of Tua. Like, if you're someone who just can't stand having Tua enough that you probably want him back, I get it. I don't know, Herbie. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Knowing everything that was involved with him. You know what I mean?
Listen, bro. Listen. And one thing about it, two things for sure, bro. Like, you are excellent when it comes to breaking down your team. You are truly excellent. Like, bravo.
Appreciate you, brother.
Bravo, bro. Bravo, dog.
Appreciate you, my G.
Nobody gonna give you the flowers, you gonna do it, dog. But I'm gonna say this to say this. You feel me? Everything you said, I'm gonna say it in one sentence. They had to fire the nigga, man. Because the nigga didn't get along with the biggest investment. Like, people are dumb. Like, that's just point blank, period. People are dumb. And people find a way to show how stupid they are every single time. The Miami Dolphins spent a 5th overall draft pick on a quarterback. The coach that they hired to steer that quarterback to the heights that the Dolphins have not imagined since Dan Marino hated the nigga. They didn't get along. Nobody in history, no organization in history is choosing the coach over the quarterback. That's supposed to be the franchise quarterback. It ain't happening. If it was up to Tom Brady or Bill Belichick, Tom Brady's staying. Like,
facts. 100%.
The only reason why Tom Brady didn't stay is because they thought he wasn't good enough anymore.
And then goes and wins a fucking Super Bowl.
Doug Peterson is about to get fired for a bum. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Because he's the franchise. Deshaun Watson is on the field and he has no business being on the field because he's getting paid like the franchise guy. What? There's nothing to talk about, bro. Like, at all. On that alone, the Dolphins had to fire Brian Flores. And now we got to get to the other part. Nobody liked him. Like, that matters. Like,
a lot.
You can't drive people away. You can't make people miserable. And you can't be an absolute unprofessional loose cannon and think you deserve a job because you're brilliant at defensive strategy. Nigga, no.
It's more than just X's and O's, man. Being a head coach is about relationships, man.
Being a head coach has nothing to do with X's and O's. That's what the fuck a coordinator's for.
100.
Being a head coach is about being a middle manager. That's the job. Like, that's the job. It's a management position. Like, I don't even know if Mike Tomlin was an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator. He was a defensive coordinator. But the point I'm trying to make is the average person, if you asked them, where did Mike Tomlin come from? What side of the ball he came from? Niggas would do this. I don't know. Because we don't care about that. We care about his ability to manage egos, manage professionals, manage people. Brian Flores with the Miami Dolphins. And again, this conversation is only about should he have kept his job. When he was with the Miami Dolphins, he was bad at being a head coach. He was never, like you said, bad at being a defensive mind. He did not get hired to be a defensive mind. He got hired to be a head coach. Those are two different things.
100%.
So what are we talking about? And that is the problem with fans. Fans is short for fanatic. But we can't be stupid about this shit, dog. Now, is Brian Flores learned? He seems like he's learned. And sometimes you got to get fired to say, damn, bro, what I thought, how I envisioned what I thought I had to do to be a head coach was completely wrong. And maybe his second time around would be much better. Nobody remembers Bill Belichick with the Jets. People completely
or with the Browns.
Or with the Browns.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it takes you a second or a third time to get it right. And that could be what happens for Brian Flores. But the Dolphins made the right decision. Anybody arguing against that is somebody that I have no interest in arguing with. You're either uninformed or you're stupid. And I ain't got time for both. Like, for real, bro. I don't have time for both, dog. I'm 35, bro. I don't have time for either or, bro. I'm done with that. I can't argue with ignorant motherfuckers, and I really can't argue with stupid motherfuckers, bro. So that's just my piece, dog. So at the end of the day, yes, the Dolphins had to fire Brian Flores. Point blank, period. All right, man. So let's go ahead and get some recaps, though. I want to start with the Jaguars and Bears, and then we could go long on the Lions because, and Cowboys. Oh, my fucking God.
Oh, man, what a game that was.
What a fucking game, dog. But Bears and Jaguars. Now, normally we wouldn't really touch a London game because London games don't really matter, and ultimately this wasn't a good game. This was indicative of a London game. Like, I forgot the game was on. Like, I didn't realize the game was on until the game was damn near over. But at the end of the same time, I caught a good majority of the game. So I know what happened. But I don't really want to talk about the game to break down the game itself. I want to talk about the game because it gives me an opportunity to have a conversation that I'm always intrigued to have. And that is the conversation of nurture versus nature when it comes to high-end draft picks who are expected to be something, whether that's expected to be great, whether that's expected to be elite, or in the case of both people that were involved in this game, Caleb Williams on one side, Trevor Lawrence on the other side, expected to be generational. And it's so ironic that they both played and you've seen from both players how far apart they are.
Crazy.
How one person is actually much closer to that G word than the other. And I'm not somebody to root for people's failure. Psych. Psych. I'm the biggest hater, nigga. Kendrick Lamar ain't got shit on me. I'm the biggest hater.
Hey, they used to call you Hater Herd, man.
They used to call me Hater Herd, man. Being a hater for keeping it a buck. Listen, Trevor Lawrence was never generational. And I am not somebody that's saying this with hindsight. I'm not somebody who's saying this, you feel me? Because, it's the thing to say now. I've been saying this since his rookie year. I got the motherfucking proof. I said it on here, on this platform.
On here. Yeah.
You can go find the videos. You can go find the videos. I've been saying this and I've been consistent because I knew immediately. I knew going back to Clemson. I knew going back to any time he played against high-end competition, he left a lot to be desired. So it always bothered me and it always drove me crazy how people who don't actually watch these people or don't actually watch these players in college, they just go off of what Mel Kiper tells them. They go off of what Todd McShay tells them. They go off of whatever person is on ESPN. And because they're told these things, they live and die with these opinions that they did not formulate themselves. That is so freaking stupid.
Absolutely.
I have been fighting this narrative that Trevor Lawrence is a generational football player, generational quarterback since his rookie year. And I'll be consistent. You can go back last year on the podcast when I said about Trevor, I said about Caleb. I said Caleb has all the talent in the world, but the only way he's going to be great is if he doesn't do all the stupid shit that y'all get hyped for. That's not how you win in the NFL. And guess what? He is being the best version of himself by being boring, because that's how you win. Caleb Williams is learning the secret to winning football games. And the secret to winning football games is being exceptional at the boring shit. Tom Brady has 7 championships because he was exceptional at the boring shit. Patrick
100%.
Mahomes just won 2 back-to-back Super Bowls because he was exceptional and he learned how to be exceptional at the boring shit. And you're watching 2 quarterbacks go completely on two quarterbacks who were on the same path and go in divergent areas. You can't make the argument that it's about the situation when we were 2 weeks removed from saying that the Bears are a dumpster fire and they're going to get Caleb Williams killed. And now all of a sudden the situation is good again? No, he's just playing better. That's what happens. If you play like a good quarterback, you mask things. You don't enhance a bad situation. You help a bad situation. If you are a really good quarterback, if you have the potential to be generational, if you have the potential to be elite. Trevor, because he was never generational, is showing you what it looks like. He's showing you that he is okay. And I've never said that he's a bust. I've never said that Trevor is bad. I've even said, and I quote, Trevor might be the most talented quarterback I've ever seen, only because he's so talented that he can't fail. He can't be bad. He's too talented to be a bad quarterback. If he had any less talent than he has, he would be a bad quarterback. He is a function. Caleb is a good quarterback because Caleb is a good football player. Trevor is a mediocre quarterback because he's a talented quarterback and he's a bad football player. One has the instincts, the other one lacks. And you're seeing it. And you saw it on display.
Oh, dude. I mean, when you watch, listen, I didn't get to catch most of the game because like you know, despite all the years I've been watching football, Herbie, I still fucking fail to remember the London games sometime. Like, and it's ideal, right? You wake up. It's not like, you know, we don't live on the West Coast. We live on the East Coast. So it's like for you to wake up early, eat your breakfast, boom, football. Hell yeah. Sorry, man. Like I guess I'm too old to think like that. Maybe when I was in my 20s, it was a little easier. But when you watch that game, Herbie, you come away, if you didn't know where Trevor Lawrence was drafted, you would have thought that nigga might have been, I won't say you would have thought he was a backup. I ain't gonna go that deep. But you would have thought he was just like some second round or third round pick. And then you look at Caleb Williams, Herbie, and he took a lot of criticism the first few games because, you know, like we spoke on earlier, there's a lot of recency bias in especially in this fast-paced social media, fucking every week, every day, you got to upload clips and highlights and all that. So we want results and we want everything fast. That's the way our minds are working now. So we saw our initial impressions, or most people's initial impressions of Caleb Williams was, oh man, like he ain't going to be all that. But Herbie, do people forget? Like some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time didn't even start their first season. Like we have forgotten that sometimes it does take, it takes time for certain guys to develop. Like there are guys who you can see from day one right away. Like Patrick Mahomes, the moment he stepped on the field, people kind of already knew what was up. You know what I mean? But when you look at Caleb Williams, how fast he's progressing, like you said, him being able to improve at the boring stuff. I also thought that the Bears did a good job of helping him out a little bit. You know, DeAndre Swift, who's the running back for the Bears, they did a better job of getting him out in space instead of just having him run chaotically into a pile of bodies because he doesn't really excel at that. So you have the coaching staff learning not only how to utilize Caleb, the coaching staff is learning how to utilize the pieces around him. And Caleb himself, Herbie, that touchdown pass to Keenan Allen where he throws it on his back shoulder between 2 defenders in the middle of the end zone. Like, Herbie, only great quarterbacks can make that throw. That's not a throw that a bum can make. That's not a throw that an average quarterback can make. Like, only people with that kind of potential consistently. Like, that's a throw that you would see Aaron make consistently or Peyton make consistent. Like, only the highest of the high could make that throw, Herbie. So when you see things like that and you see the way the Bears this season, their record might not be spectacular, but the Bears this season have dominated bad competition. And that was when Caleb wasn't even up to speed. and he's still catching up to speed. He's already showing us how high his ceiling is. Trevor Lawrence, Herbie, let's be honest. How much has he really grown? Like, he was living off of Urban Meyer going to the club, cheating on his wife or doing whatever. He was living off of all of that his first couple of years. But Herbie, we've seen it. He has a Super Bowl winning head coach. Doug Peterson won a freaking Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. Like that, something like that. Like Herbie, he did something that we almost never, maybe we had never seen before. And a guy like that who is known for ours, he had Carson Wentz looking like an MVP. So I just feel like, Herbie, especially when you look at the talent they added around Trevor Lawrence, giving him a tight end in Evan Ingram, giving him, he had a guy, is Calvin Ridley still on the team?
No, Calvin Ridley's on the Tennessee Titans, but think about this. Calvin Ridley had 1,000 yards with him.
He still has Christian Kirk. He still has other guys.
Brian Thomas Jr. could make that Brian Thomas Jr. could be a number one receiver on a lot of teams right now. That's how good he is.
100.
He is losing out on production because Trevor misses him. Trevor missed him by a mile in the game, this game. To the point where Brian Thomas Jr. was looking at the nigga like, bro, what you doing? What are you on, dog? Like, when your wide receivers get visibly upset with you, then it's a problem, dog. Because that means that miss is consistent. They remember when you missed again. They remember when you missed them in practice. They remember just like, dog, what are we doing with this nigga out here?
It's a loss of trust. That's what it is. It's a loss of trust.
I'm going crazy running these routes, and you throwing this shit in the dirt, my nigga. You throwing this shit over my head. You throwing this shit behind me.
Crazy.
Like, I am not one to say that Trevor Lawrence went into the best situation that we've ever seen. But we got to stop pretending that he's in an awful situation. Like, he's not in an awful situation.
Hell no.
That's the point. You getting paid because you're supposed to elevate. You have more than enough to be a good team. You have more than enough to not lose 9 straight games. There's never been a great quarterback that lost 9 straight games. It doesn't happen.
No. It just doesn't.
Mediocre ones do. You know he's the only person that has a lower percentage of third down efficiency than Deshaun Watson, who right now who hasn't converted his last 26 third downs, and Trevor Lawrence still has a lower third down efficiency rate?
Disgusting. Oh my God.
Disgusting. That's how you lose 9 straight games. That's how you do it.
Crazy.
It is absurd. And again, I don't gain anything. I don't get a bonus for being right about this nigga being mediocre. Like, you feel me? Like, you feel me? Like, but it just drives me crazy when instead of just saying, hey, looking at reality, opening your third eye and saying, maybe this dude ain't all that, I'm going to blame the coach. I'm going to get 2 coaches fired. I'm going to say, oh, Calvin really wasn't good enough. Get him out of here. Christian Kirk ain't good enough. Get him out of here. Travis Etienne ain't good enough. We need somebody else. Brian Thomas Jr., yeah, he's okay, but he's not a number 1 receiver. I seen somebody in the group saying Trevor Lawrence doesn't have a number 1. Yeah, he does.
Yes, 100%.
He's holding him back right now.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh my. People always want to make excuses for these niggas, man.
Come
on, bro.
That's the part that drives me crazy. Because it ain't about being right or being wrong. It's about stop putting it out on people who are doing their jobs because one person is not. And that person that you actually know and you're aware of, and all you do is look at a box score. So that's the name that you identify with. And because you identify with that person, you have a relationship with that person. Because you have a relationship, you feel me, whether it's a fictional relationship, you don't know this person for real. None of you niggas have shook this nigga's hand. But you have an affinity for him because you just know who he is and you remember what he was supposed to be coming out of college. So you'll tear everything down instead of holding him to the fire. And now, because it has been 4 years of this shit, niggas have to be honest. And I love it. I love it.
You can, Herbie. You can only hold on. You can only hold on to the idea for so long until your bubble gets burst. And when your bubble gets burst, Herbie, that crash to reality. Whew, man, that's like you being in an elevator and that shit just drops from 40 to the basement. That's what niggas is feeling right now. That's what niggas is feeling right now.
Speaking of bubbles bursting and speaking of crashing to reality, you can't crash to a reality when you've already been there for 5 years, bro. Like, there's no reality to crash to, right? And Rod, again, bro, I appreciate you, dog. Our energy, our synergy is kinetic, bro, because it is the perfect transition to a conversation I don't want to have. I don't want to talk about these dudes.
There's no escape.
They don't deserve any oxygen. They don't deserve my time. They don't deserve my energy. They don't deserve none of that. You feel me? They are who they are. Different day, same Cowboys. They are who they are. You are who you are. And we had their asses. You feel me? Shout out to
let them off the hook.
They on the hook. They got hooked and fried, nigga. Rotisserie chicken like I've never seen, nigga. Pollo tropical, bro.
Woo, boy, man. That shit was embarrassing, Herbie. Let's be honest. Like, and you know what, Herbie? Like, and listen, I watched the Dolphins drop 70 on the Broncos last year, like having fun. The backup scored like 2 touchdowns on their own. But you know what the difference was, Herbie? In this game, this is one of the first games this might be the first game I ever remember where the team on the other side, the Lions, they were having so much fun. They had so little respect for the Cowboys. They had offensive linemen, fucking tackles out there running routes on y'all niggas, man. Herbie, I can say, I've been watching football a long time. I don't think I've ever seen a team be that disrespectful, dog. The final score was disrespectful. The way the game went was disrespectful. But when you got old linemen running routes, these niggas laughing, kiki and having fun, and when you look at the way, Herbie, and I know you're gonna get to this, you know, since I'm already rolling, let me just get my thoughts out the way and I'll let you cook, my boy.
As long as you want, bro.
Let me let you cook, dog.
You can cook for the next hour. I got nothing to say about these niggas, man. Damn, dog.
Herbie. Here's the thing, bro. The thing, you know what was fascinating to me about that game, Herbie? It was the fact that you look at the final score, 47-9, and despite how bad it was, the Lions didn't even have a single 100-yard rusher, Herbie. The Lions were killing the Cowboys death by 1,000 paper cuts, rushing the ball. Like, them boys were just getting 5 yards a pop, play after play after play. Herbie, this is what makes this shit even worse. The Lions had 30% of the Lions' plays, 30% of their passing plays, Herbie, they got 15 or more yards. That's only been done 20 times in the past 5 years. First time this season. Like, the Cowboys allowed the Lions to come in their house. They've allowed a lot of teams recently, in recent memory, to come in their house and just lay that wood on them. Like, when you let a team come in your house and they just bulldoze you, you let a team come in your house and they just fucking rip your pants down and bend your ass over, grab you by the neck, like give me that ass. That's what the Lions did. Like, the Lions literally walked in, bent the Cowboys over, and did something. You know, I'm not going to use the word, but I think we know what happened, dog. I'm talking, and it wasn't a freak off. Nah, it was worse. This was because the Cowboys didn't want this, Herbie. The Cowboys weren't like just afraid of reputation or money. They were forced against their will. And Herbie, as a grown man who's strong as hell, I can't imagine how them boys woke up feeling today, Herbie, because when all you do is get your ass beat for 60 straight minutes, dog, like, man, the Lions did whatever they wanted, Herbie. Throw it deep, run the ball, throw it short, run their trick plays. Like, the worst thing that happened to the Lions is losing Aiden Hutchinson, bro. That is the blemish for that game. Otherwise, it's a perfect game for them. And it's just man. Woo.
I gotta go full screen for this one, man.
Go ahead, man.
And
all yours, man.
Hey man, I never go.
You ready to do the full screen for real?
I gotta go full screen for this one, dog. This
do your thing, player. You gotta get it off your chest, man.
I gotta get it off my chest, man. Okay, so to the people who's watching us for the first time, I'm gonna take you down memory lane because I have to go backwards so I can go forward. You deserve that, and as people who are you riding with us, you're gonna be a part of this journey. You know, we're on this together, right? But you're new. You haven't been here for the inception. Everything that this was previously, and what it was previously, this show, Phin Outta Water, was called the Couch Bros NFL Show. And the reason why it was called the Couch Bros NFL Show is because me, as a Cowboys fan, Rodman, my co-host, as a Dolphins fan, we wanted to express and have an outlet to talk about our favorite teams as well as the whole NFL. So every episode, we talked about the Cowboys, that game, and then we talked about the Dolphins, that game, and then we talked about the rest of the NFL. But slowly but surely, the Cowboys beat the fire out of me by being the Cowboys year after year after year after year. And they got to the point where I wasn't matching Rod's energy, enthusiasm, intellect, intelligence when it came to talking about his favorite team because I just didn't give a fuck about these niggas no more, dog. I really didn't. And I said, you know what, Rod? It's not fair to you if I'm not matching what you're bringing. So let's build this entire show around the Dolphins, which is why we changed it to Phin Outta Water. I don't think I've talked about the Cowboys this entire season. I don't like these niggas. I don't care about these niggas. I truly despise these niggas for real. Like, I'm gonna get you in, Rod, because I always like having your facial expressions, bro, and the people need to see your facial expressions as well, dog. So I'm gonna bring you in, bro. But I don't like these dudes, bro. Like I had more respect for the Cowboys teams that had Quincy Carter on it that sucked.
Damn.
Because they had something that this team lacks. And there's a lot of things. Those teams had integrity. Those teams had will. Those teams had fight. Those teams had the desire to try their fucking best. They had grit, and they wasn't going to lay down.
They had heart, man.
They had heart. They had heart. Yeah, we're going to win 4 games. Yeah, we're going to get blown out on a lot of them. Yeah, we're going to get embarrassed. But we'll fight your ass, my nigga. Like, you try to run it up on us, nigga, we'll beat your ass. These niggas had Panay Sewell running a pitch and catch, and nobody started a fight. Nobody started a riot. Y'all niggas just cool with that. Y'all was just cool with that.
Disrespectful, bro. My God.
The reason why I don't talk about the Cowboys, the reason why I don't wear my fandom on my sleeve anymore is I can't care about this shit more than you niggas do. Because what's the fucking point? What is the point? If I care more than you, and again, most fans care about the game more than the NFL players. There's a lot of NFL players who are just good at football. They don't love it. The whole 52-man roster can't not love it, though. It got to be somebody. It got to be somebody. Somebody got to have some monkey nuts. Somebody got to be up like, yo, we not going for this shit. My quarterback is a hoe. My wide receiver is a gangster until another gangster is across from him. My star edge pass rusher is secretly a Philadelphia Eagles fan, bro. He want to dick ride them niggas all the fucking time, dog. Like, what is this? Y'all niggas got boat raced at home on their owner's birthday.
Happy birthday, Jerry.
Are you not embarrassed? Where is your resolve? Where is your manhood? How can you even go home that night, bruh? And all of this was on national television. Because every Cowboys game is on national television. We don't get to be the motherfucking Saints who just had 51 points put on them. You feel me? Because that's some random game at 1 o'clock. When you beat our ass, the whole world watching. That's another reason why you niggas got to man up. Because the whole world wants you niggas to get boat raced. And y'all just lay down all the fucking time.
That shit's bad though. It's like they don't even, bro. The shit don't even be close, bro. Where's your pride, my nigga? Like it's Herbie. Like you know what? At least back in the day when the Cowboys used to get blowed out early in Dak's career, they had at least garbage time fight. These niggas don't even have garbage time fight, dog. Like how the fuck you can't even put up points in garbage time, my G? Get the fuck, man, get out of here, bruh. Like, come on, man. That's crazy, man.
We are in the absolute worst position right now. And that position is you cannot have a $60 million quarterback and have a bad team. You can't.
No.
Because if you have a $60 million quarterback and your team is still bad, you're fucked. Because the whole point of having a $60 million quarterback is he's supposed to be good enough to elevate a bad team. So if you have a mediocre quarterback that's cost $60 million, you get this. You get this. You get this. When we won 12 games 3 straight years, I never give a fuck. I never paraded. I never boasted about that. Why? Because it was smoke and mirrors. I saw that they just beat up on bad teams in the NFC East, which is nothing but bad teams. Now, the Commanders are better than us. The Eagles, for as bad as they are, can make the argument they're still better than us. We are at the bottom with the $60 million quarterback, with the $100 million wide receiver, with the soon-to-be $100 million edge rusher. We had to re-sign Ezekiel Elliott, dog. My mama got better burst than that nigga right now. That nigga's running with a piano on his back, kid. What are we doing?
That boy, hey, when I see Zeke, man, he got molasses. It look like molasses on the field,
that
bro.
Nigga got stones connected to his feet, man. He's sleeping with the fishes on the football field, dog. He got bricks tied to his ankles, man.
Crazy.
You think I'm supposed to support that? Just because we're fans doesn't mean you got to ride out with this shit. And that's ultimately the message that I want to bring to all of you Cowboys fans out there, dog. Y'all don't have to accept this shit no more, dog. I don't talk about them niggas. I don't follow them niggas. I don't pay attention to them niggas. I don't watch segments about them niggas. I can't even tell you half the niggas that's on the roster right now. I don't care. I don't care.
They beat it out of you, Herbie.
They beat it out of me. They beat it out of me, dog.
That's how I know I'm a masochist, man. That's how I know I'm a masochist.
There's times, bro, and I know I say this, and there's times where they get on and I'm watching them and somebody on the other team scores and I say, fuck, and I slam. It's still in me. I've given these niggas too much for it to not be in me. It's always going to be there slightly. But as much as I used to be, watching every game, every second, every play, every drive, fuck no. Because none of them niggas deserve that kind of input, deserve that kind of dedication, deserve that kind of care. Y'all got to get it back from me. And again, that ain't about winning the Super Bowl. That's not about winning 10 games. That's not about winning your division or getting to the NFC Championship. All I need you niggas to do is give a fuck. If I got to ask you for that, then 2 of them, bro.
Don't forget to blow the smoke, dog. Don't forget to blow the smoke. That's it.
Reloaded, nigga. John Wick on your ass, nigga. 2 of them. Like, for real, man. All right, man. Like, I had to get that on my chest. That's been burning inside of me for a long time, Rod. I'm sorry.
I see, bro. Hey, listen, I see the steam leaving you right now, bro. I see the steam leaving. It looked like you've been hotboxing in that bitch to me. Woo, boy. So, hey, you know what? It feels good to get it off your chest, though, sometimes.
That was from the gut. That was from the hip, bro. That was from
100, man.
I had to get that one off. I'm tired of these niggas, bro. I'm tired of these niggas, man. I mean it. This nigga Micah Parsons want to be an Eagles, bro. You want to go play for the Eagles, bitch ass nigga. Go play for them niggas then, bro. They riding the Eagles anytime the Eagles do something, bro. You're on the Cowboys, bro. We're paying you. And you can't wait to dick ride them niggas, bro. Like, I'm done, bro. Like, I'm so done, bro. I'm so done, bro. Like, I'm so done, bro.
Oh,
like,
Lord, that's hilarious,
oh, my God, bro. All right, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the Ravens and Commanders game. And we don't got to spend too much time because, again, we're not either fans of them. So, we don't have a dog in the fight. For me, I don't know what you found interesting, but for me, there's two things that I found interesting from that game that I wanted to address for both sides, right? Because ultimately, it didn't matter who won or lost. Well, it mattered for the Ravens, but again, it doesn't really matter to me. What I wanted out of that game, I got exactly what I wanted. And there's two things that I personally got. And then I'll go ahead and let you get in, Rod, for what you found interesting in the game. For me, one thing I found interesting, and we'll start with the Ravens, primarily for me, Lamar Jackson. Lamar is at that point where he's becoming inevitable. And I know, I want to say last week, I said that Josh Allen is the second best quarterback in the league. I can't say that anymore. That's disrespectful to Lamar. Based off of who he's been up until this point in this season and the fact that he has 2 MVPs, right? I have to give him that credit. Even if you think Josh Allen is still better, there's no argument for Josh Allen right now. I'm sorry.
No.
There's no argument.
There really isn't.
There's none. Lamar beat him. Lamar has better stats this season. Lamar has been more dominant, and he has the hardware. He just doesn't have the hardware. And that is ultimately where I want to take this conversation in regards to Lamar Jackson.
Herbie, not to cut you off, but I just want to throw this point. When it comes to the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson discussion, even though Josh Allen hasn't done really shit in the play, Josh Allen is famous for losing a game in 13 seconds. But people blow up his asshole like he's actually done shit in the playoffs. But when people talk about Allen and Lamar, they're going to say, oh, but Allen's better in the playoffs than Lamar, which is completely not 100%. That's just not true to me. Josh Allen might have some better performances than Lamar. Maybe Lamar's best performance in the playoff doesn't match Josh Allen's. I won't argue anything like that. But when it comes to the discussion, I don't even think the regular season even matters to most people because the argument that I see, especially when I look online, is people love bringing up the playoffs.
And that's ultimately where I wanted to take this conversation because it doesn't matter what Lamar does in the regular season anymore. That's done. Those conversations are done. But what I'm seeing right now is seeing somebody, and again, I hope maybe I'm getting caught up in the hype or whatever, but I can only go off of what I'm seeing with my own eyes, right? What I'm seeing right now is I am seeing somebody reach that final form. And it goes back to the conversation I had when it came to Caleb. Lamar is exceptional at the playmaking stuff, and he's getting better at the most important part of being a quarterback, which is being a game manager. That is the final form of being a championship quality quarterback, being the best game manager that you can be. And that's why I say he's being inevitable. Everybody outside of the Kansas City Chiefs with Pat Mahomes would be expected to lose that game to the Bengals. And Lamar found a way down 10 to just put up points after point after point after point, drive after drive after drive.
They were down 2 touchdowns twice in the second half.
Second half.
Crazy.
This game against the Commanders did not want to go away.
No.
A lesser quarterback would have allowed the Commanders to come back. But that's what happens when you become inevitable. You step on somebody's throat.
You put the game away.
You put the game away. You make the plays to put the game away. Running, passing, whatever. You make the plays to put the game away. And he's doing that. But again, it's the regular season. To me, this is the MVP that he should be having.
Mm-hmm.
This is significantly better than that fucking Make-A-Wish MVP that he got last year, bro. Fuck out of here, bro.
He won by default.
He won by default. This is the MVP season. So there's an opportunity for Lamar Jackson to have 3 regular season MVPs. That's rarefied air. Drew Brees doesn't have one. Think about it. Drew Brees doesn't have one. Lamar Jackson has an opportunity to have 3. 3 before he's 29 years old. He's already been NFL top 100. He's been voted MVP once. And then he was voted MVP again.
Unanimous, I think, was one. Wasn't he a unanimous MVP? For the first one, I think.
Yeah, for the first one. We've seen all the stages. Now it's about the championships, dog. I'm sorry, Lamar. None of this shit you're doing. And again, this is me bigging you up, but I also have to talk about the elephant in the room. None of this shit matters. Because now you got to do it when it does matter, dog. You have to. You've done everything that you can in the regular season. You've been dominant. You've had the best team in the season. You have the best record in the season. You've done everything. Now it's about doing it when it matters, dog. And for my Commander's point that I wanted to talk about, when I watch Jayden Daniels, dog, and it is annoying because the niggas in my division, and between him and the league neighbors and all these fucking aliens that's in my division now, bro, like, God damn, bro.
You feel sicker and sicker.
I feel sick in my stomach, nigga. But Jayden Daniels is the future. And there's only going to be one Jayden Daniels, so you're not going to find Jayden Daniels on trees. If you could, the whole league would be Jayden Daniels. But the reason why I say he's the future is because he is the next step of the evolution. It started with Mike Vick, and then we had Lamar Jackson, and now we have Jayden Daniels. He is going to be the new prototype of what you want your quarterback to be. Somebody who is super effective at running the ball, deadly accurate, and can do everything. And it's just efficient. He plays efficient football with the ridiculous arm that has stupid touch. Like some of the throws this nigga was making, dog, I'm just like,
bro, that throw he made,
born to do it, bro. Like you're born to do this shit, bro.
Bro, there was a throw. I think it was who's the tight end? I think they have Ertz on their team. There was a throw he made that whizzes by Roquan Smith in that game, Herbie. You watch a play like that and you go like, God damn, like this nigga is dealing right now. And, you know, to your point, Herbie, because to be honest, the Lamar point, you made just about every point I would love to make about Lamar. Like there's nothing more I could add to the Lamar conversation. When it comes to Jayden Daniels, what impressed me the most about this game, and here's the thing, it is extremely rare for me, especially as someone who, looking at the landscape of the NFL, for me to be impressed by a team when they lose. Normally, a team loses and it's just like, all right, yeah, y'all lost, y'all didn't get it done. But if there is any game I've ever watched where if I'm a fan of the Commanders, and I have a homeboy who's a Commanders fan, I'm going to try to get him on this season because I know he must be stoked. I spoke to him briefly about it. I could see he's happy. Herbie, if you're a Commanders fan, even though you lost that game, you probably come away from that game feeling better than any of the other games they played this year. Just because you got to watch Jayden Daniels in a game where the Ravens, to their credit, the one thing, especially last week, you gave Cliff Kingsbury credit for was the cleverness and the effectiveness of their running game. The Ravens took that away. They didn't necessarily take it away completely from Jayden, but they took the actual running game that's been so effective against everybody else. And the Ravens actually did a great job controlling that. And you got to see the game get put on. Like Jayden Daniels is exactly what you dream of when you draft a high pick at a quarterback. Because when the opposing team can take away what you do best and you can still make plays, you can still keep us in the game against an elite quarterback who, Herbie, people have to understand the kind of crazy game Lamar was having yesterday, the kind of crazy team the Ravens are with Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson on play action, because now that they have Derrick Henry and he's a threat to run, their play action game is ridiculous. Lamar Jackson was 10 of 11 on play action plays for 170 yards. Like, The Ravens are like when you say that Lamar is inevitable, the addition of Derrick Henry might actually have been the move that can take them over the top. Like they might actually be able to overcome Mahomes. Lamar may actually be able to overcome those playoff walls, and that's a conversation we'll have later down the road. But right now, when you look at the young quarterbacks in the league, when you look at Jayden Daniels, and what I saw from him in his game as well, from what I could see, because we were recording the other pod during the game, so I caught bits and pieces, and I got to watch the second half when I got home. But man, Herbie, he plays with a poise that you just don't play with. You just don't see rookies play with. The command that he has at the line of scrimmage. And in this game in particular, what I really wanted to see from him was him attack tight windows in the field, which he did. Like he didn't shy away. Like he is showing his growth every time he steps out onto the field, much like Caleb. And he started off hotter than Caleb. Dude, if I'm a Commanders fan, I'm stoked because it's a different feeling when you watch a quarterback. Like with Tua, I know what Tua is. Like, I'm a Tua fan. I've rolled with Tua, but I know what he is, Herbie. And I'm okay with it at this point because we haven't had any better, which is the sad truth of the Dolphins. He's not a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but that's it. He's good, but not great. Jayden Daniels, you look at him, Herbie, and as a fan, you go, yo, we could win a Super Bowl with this nigga. Like, you have confidence no matter who you have on your team. Like, that is what a top pick should breed. That is a franchise quarterback. It's insane that you have these guys like, well, Deshaun Watson got paid off of the performance he previously had. We didn't know what we were going to get back in terms of the Browns.
Nasty man.
Shout out nasty
to
man.
Jones.
Nasty. You look at Trevor Lawrence and some of these other guys who got paid, and it's just like Dak Prescott. And it's just like the quarterback market is so fucking ridiculous now, Herbie, because mediocre quarterbacks are getting franchise quarterback money. And it's just like, I think that might fuck up the game a little bit, man, because now these teams are paying these guys who can't elevate them. We see it. Trevor Lawrence can't elevate the Jaguars. Dak Prescott can't elevate the Cowboys. But you know what Jayden Daniels is doing? He's elevating the Washington football team. Because I'll tell you right now, Herbie, nobody expected these niggas to be as good as they've been. And not only that, he's gone up against other great quarterbacks, and he's performed as well, if not better than them in those matchups. The only thing I would say, and to my eye, Herbie, this looks extremely sustainable. But the NFL is a very, very humbling league. But to my eye right now, based on what I've seen from him in his play, teams will get a beat on the things he likes and his tendencies and stuff like that on the offense and stuff. But there are plays that he makes that's just like, there's no game plan for that. He's just making a great football play. He's just being efficient. He's just making a great run. He's just making a great decision. There are certain things, no matter how much you game plan for, a guy is just going to go above and beyond and go beyond those expectations. And to me, he's doing that, Herbie. Like, if I'm a Commanders fan at the end of that fucking game, Herbie, I'm happy as hell. Because you're not going to play too many teams as good as the Ravens the rest of the year.
Nah, and when you're on that journey as a quarterback and one of those guys, especially when you're young in your rookie year, you want to have the opportunity to test yourself, and you want to go ahead and see, like, hey, this is going to be somebody that's potentially in New Orleans at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. How close are we to them? How close am I to them personally? Because like you said, he wasn't the thing that's been there this entire season up until this point. The running game wasn't there. It was just him being Jayden Daniels, that dude. And it was Lamar Jackson and being that dude on the opposite end to hold him off. Like, hold on, little nigga, you coming, but it's still my shit. But he's coming. He is the prototype. He is what the NFL is going towards. NFL teams are going to say, I need to find the next Lamar Jackson. And then they did it. And now, if God-fearing and he, is paying dividends on how we feel about him personally, NFL is going to say, hey, you got to find me the next Jayden Daniels. Like, we love CJ. But what CJ Stroud does, not every quarterback can do. You got to be elite at the quarterback and shit. Yep. It's harder to find CJ Stroud than a Jayden Daniels. And it's hard to find a Jayden Daniels because he's a freak athlete. But teams are going to say, find me Jayden Daniels. Find me somebody that could do both. Find me somebody who could kill me running, kill me. Like, that is why I say he's the prototype. He's the evolution. He is Randall Cunningham. He is Michael Vick. He's Lamar Jackson. He's now Jayden Daniels. He's in that lineage. And that is where the NFL is going towards. Like, if you think about it, bro, we have so many quarterbacks that are not white anymore. And it's like, it's fucked up because we were held out of these positions because we were considered too dumb to play the position. That's what
Right.
Warren Moon said. You can't be a quarterback because you're too stupid to do it. All he did was throw for 70 fucking thousand yards.
Yeah, man. What the young niggas know about Warren Moon, man? Classic OG gunslinger.
They don't understand
OG
the systemic
gunslinger,
racism
man.
that has played this position. And then the minute that you guys in the NFL were open-minded, now we're flooding the gate. The best quarterback in the league is a person of color. CJ Stroud.
The second best quarterback.
Second best quarterback in the league is black. CJ
Herbie,
Stroud is black.
out of the top 4 quarterbacks, only one's white, and that's Burrow. If you had Allen top 5, okay, yeah, but still, top 3 of the top 5 quarterbacks are men of color.
Caleb Williams
which
is black.
Never happened.
Jayden Daniels is black. Lamar Jackson is black. Unfortunately, Dak Prescott fucking it up, bro. We not the black delegation is not killing claiming.
Hell, Tua Samoan. Tua Samoan.
Like Dak, bro, your white side can have you, bro. I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro.
Oh, shit.
I'm good, bro. All right, any last things before we get up out of here, man? We got some awards, man. So, awards. If this is your first time knowing about awards is where we have 2 awards that we give out every episode. One award is Who Bust My Parlay. And normally which is an award of who actually killed my ticket. Because I just got tired of losing. I got tired of giving out that award week after week. I said, I'm not playing this week, bro. I'm good, bro. So there's
You needed a break.
For who killed my ticket, bro. But Rod, do you have a bad dope of the day award? And that bad dope of the day is the worst performance by a player, coach, or team. Who is your bad dope nominee for this week 6, sir?
My bad dope nominee would be, this is going to sound kind of weird because I'm going to give another team props on top of it. But my bad dope nominee is the Saints, man. Like, the Saints fans have probably the biggest blue balls of any fans of football right now. Because how they came out as hot as they did, dropping 2 back-to-back 40-point games, and that ship has sailed, and that balloon is whizzing out. And come on, bro. Listen. I'm going to give some shout out to the Bucks. I don't want to make it seem like I'm down on the Bucks.
Take your time, bro. Take your time. I forgot that you want to talk about it, so go for it, bro.
I just want to say that I've just been impressed with first of all, the play of Baker and just overall how good the Bucks look compared to how they looked last year. Like, the Bucks, to me, Herbie, are looking more and more legitimate. Listen, I don't see them right now. Even though they beat the Lions, by the way. They did beat these niggas. So I say that I don't see them doing it in the playoffs, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, Baker Mayfield is living up to the hype that he never could in Cleveland, and a lot of that was due to the Cleveland themselves, injuries he had,
him being injured. Cause remember,
injuries he had. Yeah,
I don't know. In fact, he broke Peyton Manning's rookie record for passing touchdowns in a season. He threw 27 touchdowns as a rookie.
28, I think.
It was either 27 or 28, whichever it was. But he broke the record. Like,
yeah.
Baker could always play in the league. Like, people trying to make Baker seem like this little engine that could story. The nigga was a number 1 overall pick. Shut the fuck up, all right?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, 100.
He got drafted before Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, all right? Let's stop this.
But you know what, though, Herbie? At this point, like, that doesn't matter anymore. Like, it just don't because...
No. Again, I'm not trying to take any credit away from Baker. I'm just arguing from the fact that people are saying, oh, Baker, like, showing you if you have the right situation, blah, 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 which is 100% true.
Well, we had seen it before. Yeah, we had seen it before.
We've seen it before with another team.
I got you.
He was the number 1 pick. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. He always had talent. You don't
100.
get drafted at number 1 overall at 6 feet unless you're incredibly talented. So let's just chill and understand that too. This isn't Brock Purdy we're talking about. Again, Baker got drafted a bit ahead of Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, and Josh Allen, guys. So let's
crazy. It's so crazy to think about that too,
that
bro. It's
sounds
just like,
crazy,
wow.
right? In hindsight,
Yeah,
but
it's
they
like, wow.
looked at all of those fucking aliens and said, "Hey, we're gonna draft Baker Mayfield above," and he deserved to go number one based off of
At the
what he
time,
did in
yeah.
college at the time.
Right.
So yeah, and again, that wasn't to derail you. I just needed to have that
No, I got
conversation
you.
because I've been seeing it all the time, and it's like, dog, did y'all forget? Like, y'all forgot his pedigree.
Right.
Like again, you said it to start the show. Recency bias. Recency bias, bro. Like, just go back. Pro Football Preference. It's a free website, guys. You can use it.
We use it all the time. We use it all the time,
fucking time, bro. But go ahead, bro. Sorry to derail your point that you were making.
No, you good, man. Truth be told, at the end of the day, this is the Bad Dope Award. So I'm gonna just go out. I'm gonna say the Saints, you allowed a division rival. You can't let your division rival get a 50 burger on you, Herbie. Like, to me, that's just, as a football fan, as a deep, hardcore football fan, it's disgusting.
Nigga, I didn't know because I've never really paid attention, but it gets busy in the NFC South. Like, they hate each other. Like, the Saints hate the Falcons. The Bucks hate the Saints. Like, they hate each other down there because all of, like, the Saints fans are super passionate. If you go to New Orleans, everything is Saints paraphernalia. That is the team. That is the team of the fucking city. So that 50 burger hurt. And it really hurt because it came from a division rival, bro. So they was sick. They still sick about it. Wasn't no jambalaya this week, my boy. None of that.
Throwing up, dog.
No crawfish, no po' boys, my boy. None of that.
A hangover with no liquor, man. God
None of that. No
motherfucker.
No grenades, none of that. Them niggas was hurt, bro. My Bad Dope nominee, man. Who else could it be? Nigga, throw that whole city of Dallas away. Nigga, the Dallas Cowboys are the Bad Dope of the nominee, bro. Like, who else could it be? These fucking bums, man. I gotta talk about these niggas again. I have to give you niggas the Bad Dope. Y'all had a fucking big ass, big body lineman out wide. They had a lineman out wide on y'all niggas because they did not respect y'all that much. Y'all had a team, had a lineman run a hitch route. The slowest hitch route in the history of football. Civilization of football. Because they didn't give a fuck about anything y'all niggas was doing.
Crazy.
Fuck out of here. Bad Dope of the day, Bad Dope of the week, Bad Dope of the year. Nobody's topping the Cowboys this week, bro. This is the Bad Dope of the fucking year, nigga. All decades team, nigga. All decades team, Bad Dope right here, my nigga. Damn, bro. For real, dog.
Oh, man. That's hilarious.
All right, Rod. Any last words before we get up out of here, bro?
Nah, man. You know what, Herbie? You know I love getting on here with you, man. And, I also want to say I thank everyone who has been supporting the podcast, whether you give it a listen, you give it a like. I've had some friends like the pod. I've had some people we don't know started following us, subscribing us. We're seeing the growth. We're seeing more engagement. I thank you guys for giving us a chance. And, we're gonna keep this shit rolling, man. We're going to keep it rolling because we love doing this shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We be doing this shit after work type shit, but we going to keep it rolling, dog, because we love doing this.
We love
and we're glad y'all watching,
And I know we love doing it. I know we're good at it, and we're getting better, and we're striving to get better to make sure that we give you guys the best show every single week during the football season, man. So, deuces, we'll see y'all next week, man.